Welcome to this Nugget series in Microsoft Project 2010, or welcome to this Nugget series on passing your Microsoft Project 2010 Managing Projects Exam 77-178. This Nugget series has been put together with both purposes in mind and will absolutely satisfy your requirements. If you simply want to learn what's new in Microsoft Project 2010, or if you're a newcomer to Microsoft Project and simply want to learn what Microsoft Project is, this Nugget will do that for you. Or if you want to expand that a little bit and ensure that you can prove to your boss as well that not only do I understand Microsoft Project 2010, I have been able to pass my certification exam with Microsoft, and I have my 77-178 exam. This Nugget series, as well as the exam itself, is broken into 5 segments. The first segment is 1.0, Initializing Project. And when I say project, I mean Microsoft Project, not initiating a project from a project management viewpoint, but initiating Microsoft Project. And I'll often refer to Microsoft Project as simply MSP for short. Microsoft Project is a very powerful, flexible tool. If we don't do the right job of initializing Microsoft Project out of the shrink wrap, setting all of the options in this very powerful, flexible tool, Microsoft Project will in fact appear to be doing something incorrect. Microsoft Project will appear to be doing something you didn't expect. It's not doing something wrong, and I deliberately use the word appear because it is only appearing to do something wrong. It's doing exactly what you asked it to do based on how you initialized it. So we'll spend significant time in our introductory nuggets reviewing and understanding what it takes to set Microsoft Project up to manage projects, to schedule projects in exactly the format that you want. From there, we'll move on to 2.0, creating a task-based schedule. Most people, when they think of Microsoft Project, will think of it as a tool for creating a project plan or a project schedule. I'm going to put my work breakdown structure into Microsoft Project. I'm going to create a project schedule, and my work in Microsoft Project is done. Well, you've done a good job of using Microsoft Project, but there's far more to using Microsoft Project than simply creating that initial task-based schedule. We'll review all of the features and functions required to create a powerful, effective task-based schedule. But then in our next segment of the exam prep, in the next segment of this Nugget series, we'll talk about managing that project. We'll talk about putting resources onto the WBS and managing the resources within the WBS to ensure we have effective resource utilization and a project schedule that maximizes our resources, maximizes our efficiency, and delivers the most value to the organization. And from there, we'll move on to 4.0, tracking and analyzing the project. The day-to-day management of the MSP. Again, Microsoft Project is often used for just creating of the schedule. Microsoft Project is a very powerful tool for tracking and analyzing the impacts of reality on our project. And in this segment of our Nugget series, we'll examine all of the features and functions in Microsoft Project to do that for us. And then finally, what good is a tool like Microsoft Project if we can't get the information out of Microsoft Project and communicate it to our stakeholders, to our sponsor, to our boss, to anyone who cares about our project plan, our project resources, our project actuals. And in this final segment of our Nugget, we will examine what features are available in Microsoft Project for communicating that project information. But on with our first segment, Initializing Microsoft Project. As I mentioned, this Nugget is focused on Microsoft Project Overview, MSP. In this Nugget, we're going to discuss what is Project, what is Microsoft Project, how do we use Microsoft Project, what's its features and functions are going to be. We'll provide an overview of what's new in Project 10. And we'll re-highlight some of those new features in Project 10 as we go through the remaining nuggets in this series. The good news is Microsoft has put a lot of new features and functions into Project 10. It has been significantly upgraded in terms of its look and feel. It is now, I would say, fully integrated from look and feel viewpoint into the Microsoft Office family. The ribbon functionality is there. The overall backstage and file management components of Microsoft Project are very consistent with the overall Office functionality. And in addition to the look and feel, Microsoft has introduced some very exciting new features like manual schedule, like task inspector, like that we'll explore as we go through this series. So stay tuned. Throughout this series, we're going to highlight some very exciting new features in Project 10. We'll provide an overview of the 77-178 exam. As I mentioned in the introduction, I have deliberately structured this Nugget series so that it will satisfy both if you're interested in simply learning Microsoft Project as a job aid, or if you're interested in passing the 77-178. But for those of you specifically interested in the exam, we will give you a very brief overview of the exam, of the format, and what you need to be prepared to pass your exam. And finally, and most importantly, we're going to stop using whiteboards. We're going to launch Microsoft Project, and we're going to begin to provide an overview of what Project is, a very brief overview, a high-level overview of Project to familiarize yourself with what Microsoft Project is and how it operates. And then obviously for all remaining nuggets in this series, we're going to do the in-depth review of Microsoft Project in action. And I want to kick us off with a brief description of what is Microsoft Project. Microsoft Project is a tool and nothing more than a tool. It's a very powerful tool. It's a tool that I wouldn't want to attempt to manage a project without, but it is simply a tool. Microsoft Project is not a substitution for project management. I expect you are all project managers by trade, project managers by heart, and therefore understand the discipline of the concepts of project management, scope management, time management, cost management, and so on and so on and so on. It's important that you understand what project management is before you attempt to use a tool like Microsoft Project, because without the fundamentals of project management, the tool is simply going to be a tool and not deliver the full value to you. If you feel you need a bit of an overview in project management, we have nuggets on CBT Nuggets that will help you understand what project management is. We have a CompTIA Project Plus certification exam preparation series, which will provide you an overview of project management specifically focused to IT. We also have a PMI, Project Management Institute, project management training series that would equip you to pass your CAP-M or your PMP exam. So again, if you feel you need a little more basis in project management, there are other nuggets available to you at CBT Nuggets. This nugget is focused exclusively on using the tool called Microsoft Project. And Microsoft Project is a very powerful tool. As I say here, it does multiple things. First and foremost, it is a scheduling tool. In my experience working with most project managers new to Microsoft Project, they think often of Microsoft Project as only a scheduling tool. It is a scheduling tool, and it's a very powerful scheduling tool. And in this Nugget series, we'll examine how powerful the scheduling engine in Microsoft Project is. But as I said already in the introduction, Microsoft Project is much more than a scheduling tool. It's also a very powerful analysis tool. It allows us to do what-if analysis. During planning, what if we change these dependencies? During planning, what if I assign this task to a different resource? During planning, what if gives us lots of ability to do what-if analysis and use that to develop the most powerful, the most aggressive, the most appropriate schedule based on our project requirements. With the schedule created, Microsoft Project is then a very powerful management tool. This is the day-to-day. Tracking time, analyzing variances, dealing with resourcing issues, dealing with scope change, dealing with. Anything and everything that's going to get thrown at us as project managers, Microsoft Project is a very powerful tool to support our ongoing day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month management of our project schedule. And finally, as already discussed, Microsoft Project is a very powerful communications tool so that we can deliver info, status to our stakeholders, to our boss, to our sponsor, to our whoever else needs information from Microsoft Project. And a final statement as part of a commercial message to Microsoft Project, or Microsoft themselves. Microsoft Project is part of a larger tool set. As I mentioned, it is more integrated into the Microsoft Office environment than it has been in the past. But the larger tool set that I refer to here is Microsoft Project Server, which is a web-based product that allows us to integrate multiple Microsoft project plans and begin to move into true portfolio management. This Nugget series itself is focused exclusively on project. There will be nuggets in the future specific on CBT nuggets to Microsoft Project Server. So if you're interested in Project Server, once you complete this series and get your 77-178, come back to CBT nuggets and we should have a training series on Microsoft Project available to you in the very near future. So for those of you who are experienced project users and moving up to Project 10, what's new? What are you going to see different when you unwrap the shrink wrap? I made reference to a couple of these already. It is now more integrated into the Office look and feel. It now uses the ribbon, or some people refer to as the Office Fluid Interface. I think the ribbon is a much easier word to say, so I'll stick to calling it the ribbon throughout the Nugget series. And they've moved a lot of the housekeeping, the file saves, the prints, the various housekeeping options, again, consistent with the look and feel of the other Office products, to a interface called the Backstage. So this is more housekeeping. This doesn't truly allow us to create a better project plan, but it simply makes project a little bit easier to use because it's now very consistent with the other tools we use day to day as project managers. It has been significantly improved in usability. Better formatting, better control, better usability, more intuitive buttons, better, etc., etc. And I'm not going to call out these specific features for easier to use and better formatting. You'll see them in action as we're using Microsoft Project 10, and I will call out specific features that I find have made Project 10 much easier to use as we're going through the other nuggets in the series. A very minor improvement, because there's always been ways to save to PDFs using third-party products, but one that I personally find very exciting and I use a lot is now I have the ability directly within Microsoft Project to save it to a PDF, and I have a dialog box to help me create a PDF that's exactly consistent with, appropriate to the information I want moved to a PDF, so that I can begin to share my project information with non-project users. This reference to better integration with Office isn't referring to the ribbon and the Backstage, the look and feel. This is better cut, paste, import, export capabilities within the other Office suites as we cut and paste information out of Project and move it to Word or Excel. It's setting it up as a better formatted table. It's bringing across column headings. It's maintaining our indentation and our work breakdown structure. So just generally speaking, they've made Microsoft Project 10 far easier to integrate the data from Microsoft Project into other Office tools, whether it is Excel, whether it is Word, whether it is PowerPoint, Visio, Access, basically all of the integration of the data.